You wake up to the sound of crashing waves and creaking wood as the ship gently rocks beneath your feet. A loud voice suddenly echoes across the deck. Wake up, everyone on deck. Still half asleep, you climb out of your hammock and quickly gather your belongings. As you step outside, the salty sea breeze brushes across your face, and the endless blue ocean stretches as far as you can see. This isn't a dream. Today is your very first day as a pirate. The deck is already full of life. Pirates rush from one task to another, pulling thick ropes, repairing sails, cleaning the wooden deck, and rolling heavy barrels across the ship. Everyone seems to know exactly what they're doing, while you stand there wondering where to begin. Then the captain walks toward you. He gives you a confident smile before saying, "Every great pirate starts somewhere. Maybe becoming a pirate won't be as impossible as it first seemed." Before the ship sets sail, the captain gathers the entire crew round the main mast. He carefully unfolds an old parchment known as the Pirate Articles. These aren't just ordinary rules. They are agreements that every pirate aboard must follow. Surprisingly, many real pirate crews had written codes that explained how treasure would be divided, how disagreements would be settled, and what punishments awaited anyone who broke the rules. After agreeing to the Pirate Articles, the captain rolls up the parchment and gives a proud nod. Congratulations, you're officially part of the pirate crew. Your adventure has just begun. Before you can become a real pirate, you need to learn your new home. The captain leads you around the ship, explaining the purpose of every area. At the back is the captain's cabin, where maps are studied and important decisions are made. Below the deck is the cargo hold, packed with food, supplies, and valuable goods collected during voyages. Near the center of the ship is the galley, where simple meals are prepared for the crew. High above, the crow's nest gives the lookout the best view of the endless sea, helping spot islands, storms, or enemy ships long before anyone else can. You quickly discover that pirate life isn't all treasure and adventure. Your first assignment is simple but exhausting. You scrub the wooden deck until it shines, carry heavy barrels across the ship, help repair worn sails, and neatly coil thick ropes after they're used. Every task is physically demanding, but each one keeps the ship ready for whatever the ocean throws at it. By the time you're finished, you're covered in sweat and completely exhausted, but you've earned the respect of your fellow pirates. After hours of hard work, the captain finally calls for a break. The crew gathers together for lunch, but don't expect a feast. Today's meal is hard-tack biscuits, salted meat, and fresh water. The biscuits are so hard that sailors often soaked them before eating. They weren't delicious, but they could last for months without spoiling, making them perfect for long voyages across the ocean. It may not be the best meal you've ever had, but after a morning of non-stop work, it tastes surprisingly satisfying. The break doesn't last long. Soon training begins. An experienced pirate hands you a cutlass and teaches you the basics of sword fighting. Next, you learn how to safely load a cannon and fire it without injuring yourself or the crew. Finally, you're shown how to use a flintlock pistol, one of the most common firearms during the Golden Age of Piracy. As the sun begins to move across the sky, you realize you've already learned more in one day than you ever imagined. But little do you know, your biggest challenge is still waiting just beyond the horizon. The afternoon seems peaceful as the pirate ship glides across the open sea. Suddenly, a loud voice echoes from high above. Ship ahead. Everyone immediately stops what they're doing and looks toward the horizon. In the distance, a merchant ship slowly comes into view. The captain raises his spyglass, carefully studying the vessel for a few moments before lowering it with a confident smile. That's our target. The crew quickly springs into action while your heart begins to race. This is no longer training. Your very first pirate raid is about to begin. The black pirate flag is raised high above the mast as the crew prepares for battle. Cannons are loaded with cannonballs, boarding hooks are sharpened, and every sailor tightens the ropes controlling the sails. The pirate ship steadily closes the distance while the merchant crew begins to panic. You take a deep breath and grip your cutlass tightly. As the two ships draw alongside each other, the captain raises his sword. Prepare to board. There's no turning back now. With a loud shout, the captain gives the signal. You grab a swinging rope and leap across the gap between the two ships. Your boots land firmly on the merchant ship's deck as the rest of the pirate crew follows close behind. The frightened merchants quickly realize they're outnumbered and decide to surrender without a fight. Within minutes, the ship is secured. You expected a fierce battle, but instead, you discover that many pirate raids ended peacefully once the merchants realized resistance would only make things worse. Inside the cargo hold, you expect mountains of gold. Instead, you discover something even more valuable: spices, silk, sugar tea, coffee. These everyday goods were worth enormous amounts hundreds of years ago. Back aboard the pirate ship, the captured cargo is carefully unloaded onto the deck. Instead of everyone grabbing whatever they can, the quartermaster begins counting every crate, barrel, and coin. One by one, the treasure is divided according to the pirate articles that every crew member agreed to earlier. The captain receives a larger share because he leads the crew, but every pirate earns a fair reward for their work. As you receive your first small pouch of gold coins, you realize you've truly become part of the crew. Laughter fills the deck as the pirates celebrate another successful voyage. But the celebration doesn't last long. Dark clouds begin rolling across the horizon, blocking out the afternoon sun. Within minutes, fierce winds whip through the sails as heavy rain pours onto the deck. Massive waves slam against the wooden hull, causing the entire ship to rise and crash with the sea. Lightning flashes overhead, while thunder shakes the air around you. The captain grips the ship's wheel, shouting orders as every pirate rushes into action. You pull thick ropes with all your strength, helping secure the sails before the wind tears them apart. Water floods across the deck, but nobody stops working. Everyone knows that surviving a storm depends on teamwork. After what feels like an eternity, the rain begins to fade, the waves calm, and sunlight slowly breaks through the clouds. Against all odds, the pirate ship survives. Just as the crew begins celebrating their survival, a lookout suddenly points toward the horizon. Warship! Everyone freezes. A massive Royal Navy ship appears in the distance, its towering white sails and rows of cannons making it far more dangerous than any merchant vessel. The captain immediately realizes they can't win this fight. Full speed ahead, the crew quickly raises every sail as the pirate ship races across the open ocean. The chase continues until thick evening fog begins covering the sea. Using the fog as cover, the captain changes course without the Navy noticing. Minutes later, the warship disappears into the mist, and the crew breathes a collective sigh of relief. Today, you've survived your first pirate raid, a deadly storm, and even escaped the Royal Navy. The captain quietly walks beside you. Without saying much, he places a hand on your shoulder and gives a proud nod. You may still have a lot to learn, but today, you've proven that you have what it takes to become a true member of the crew. As the sun slowly disappears below the horizon, you realize something important. Being a pirate isn't just about treasure or adventure, it's about courage, teamwork, and facing the unknown every single day. Your first day has come to an end, but your journey has only just begun. Pirate life wasn't just about treasure and adventure. It demanded hard work, teamwork, discipline, and the courage to face danger every single day. Today, you survived your first day as a pirate, but could you survive a second? Who will you become next?